Have you ever been told that to be strong, you have to be hard? That life demands a thick skin, an impenetrable armor against pain, disappointment, and injustice? The idea that feeling too much is a weakness, that showing vulnerability is an invitation to attack, and that the only way to survive is to harden your heart and soul. Think for a moment. How many times have you tried to be that person, stifling your emotions, repressing your sensitivity, only to feel exhausted, isolated, and deep down more fragile than ever? What if I told you that true strength doesn't lie in the hardness that isolates you, but in an inner unbreakability that frees you to live fully, without fear of feeling and without needing a facade? For us women, the pressure to be hard is a constant trap. We're expected to be resilient, yes, but often we interpret this as having to be untouchable, unshakable on the outside, no matter the cost inside. This pursuit of a superficial hardness leads to exhaustion, anxiety, and a feeling that we are constantly at war with our own emotions and with the world. What happens when you try to be steel on the outside, but inside you're disintegrating, losing your own essence? You become an empty fortress, and the promise of a life with purpose and serenity seems unattainable. The truth is that a woman's strength is not measured by how many tears she holds back or how impenetrable she appears. It's measured by her ability to master herself, to choose calm amidst chaos, and to live with a dignity that emanates from within, regardless of circumstances. What if the key to your own unbreakability, to living with purpose and authenticity, lay precisely in a philosophy that teaches you that being stoic is not about being hard, but about being indestructible inside? Then see what happens when you embrace this truth. Your life, your peace, and your way of interacting with the world will be transformed forever. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that flourished in Greece and Rome, is not about becoming a cold, emotionless, or indifferent person to others' suffering. Far from it. It's about becoming the strongest, wisest, and most virtuous version of yourself, equipping yourself with mental tools to face any adversity with dignity and serenity. When a woman embraces Stoicism, she doesn't hide from emotions, but learns to manage them wisely, using them as valuable guides, not as tyrannical masters that dictate her actions and lead her to despair. The first pillar of your inner indestructibility is mastery over your emotions. The Stoic woman understands that pain, anger, sadness, fear, and frustration are an inevitable part of the human experience. She allows herself to feel, yes, with all their intensity, but does not allow these emotions to control her. She learns to observe them, to question her judgments about the events that provoke them, and to choose her response. Think of the metaphor of a great river. Emotions are the powerful waters. The woman who tries to be hard is like a rigid dam that, under too much pressure, can crack and crumble. The Stoic woman, however, is like a flexible riverbank. She feels the force of the current, allows the water to flow, but maintains her clear boundaries, directing the river's energy without being swept away by it. Her power is not in blocking emotion, but in mastering it and directing it with wisdom, maintaining her integrity. Next, she develops unshakable mental clarity. In a world full of distractions, excessive information, and panic-inducing narratives, it's easy to lose focus and get carried away by confusion. The Stoic woman learns to concentrate her attention on what truly matters, to discern the essential from the trivial, to separate facts from emotionally charged narratives. She becomes immune to external chaos, not because it disappears, but because her mind becomes a refuge of clarity and rationality. It's like having a lighthouse amidst dense fog. While others get lost, she sees the way clearly and guides others with her light, unaffected by the surrounding darkness. Acceptance of fate, amor fati, is a third pillar that makes her indestructible inside. This does not mean passivity, giving up, or conforming to injustice. It means recognizing that life is intrinsically unpredictable and that not everything is within our control. The Stoic woman accepts what cannot be changed with serenity and directs her energy towards what she can, her attitude and her actions. She understands that irrational resistance to what is inevitable is the greatest source of suffering which consumes her peace. Instead of fighting what is not hers, she embraces reality and finds peace in it. It's like a flexible tree in a storm. It doesn't try to stop the wind. It bends, it sways, but its roots remain firm and its trunk does not break. She doesn't fear the storm, but uses it to strengthen her roots. Practical example. Imagine a woman facing a painful betrayal in a trusted relationship. The hard reaction might be to completely shut down, build impenetrable walls, never trust anyone again. This is an attempt at protection that paradoxically isolates her and prevents her from loving fully again. But when this woman connects with Stoic philosophy, she applies the dichotomy of control. Can I control the action of the one who betrayed me? No. Can I control the initial pain? No. But can I control my response to that pain, my decision to heal, and not allow it to embitter me? Yes. She allows herself to feel the pain of betrayal, but doesn't drown in it. Instead, she accepts the fact the betrayal happened and directs her energy toward what is within her control, processing the hurt, learning from the experience, redefining her boundaries, and cultivating self-compassion. She transforms pain into an opportunity for growth and strengthening, not with a facade of hardness, but with deep and authentic resilience. She is not a victim of the situation, but the protagonist of her own recovery, choosing peace amidst suffering. A truly Stoic woman, by embracing this inner indestructibility, develops a strength that does not depend on external validation or an image of hardness. In a world that constantly demands beauty, success, and social approval, many women's self-esteem fluctuates with praise and criticism. But the Stoic understands that her worth is intrinsic, based on her virtue, her integrity, and her ability to live according to her principles. She doesn't seek external approval, but the approval of her own conscience, which is the only one that truly matters. She becomes an unshakable castle, not because of its external walls or by being impenetrable, but because of the solidity of its inner foundation of self-knowledge and virtue. She is indestructible inside. This Stoic transformation manifests in the 4 cardinal virtues that the Stoic woman cultivates. Wisdom, to discern what is real from illusion, what is within her control and what is not. This is the compass that guides her to peace and prevents her from being deceived by pain or superficial hardness. Courage, to face life bravely, including uncomfortable truths, intense emotions themselves, and finiteness without falling apart. This is the armor that protects her peace and makes her truly indomitable. Justice, to act with righteousness and integrity in all her interactions, seeking the common good and equanimity in her spirit. This is the foundation of a peace that harms no one. And temperance, to moderate her desires and passions, maintaining emotional balance and serenity in any circumstance. This is the key to an unshakable peace, allowing her to feel but not be consumed. Spirituality in this path manifests in trust in one's own capacity to be one's own moral authority, aligned with a truth and universal reason. It's the faith that life is a gift to be lived with purpose, and that every challenge is an opportunity to forge an unbreakable character. The Stoic woman does not fear the unknown, for she trusts in her ability to adapt and in her inner strength. She does not flee from finiteness, but embraces it as a natural part of life's cycle, living each day with an intensity and gratitude that most do not experience. This is the peace that transcends understanding, a peace that is not hard, but infinitely resilient. Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, advises us, "True happiness is to desire nothing, For to possess nothing is the greatest happiness. And he also reminds us, the most powerful man is he who has power over himself. For the woman seeking not to be hard, but indestructible, this is the key. She doesn't seek to control externals or mask pain, but to master her own mind, her reactions, and her choices. This is the freedom and strength that make her truly invulnerable. When a woman truly becomes stoic, the transformation goes beyond a simple shift in thinking. She redefines the very essence of her strengths. She isn't just resilient, she is indestructible inside. This unbreakability isn't born from emotional armor that isolates her from the world, but from a deep understanding and mastery over her inner world, making her immune to external chaos and the fluctuations of fortune. She doesn't just survive adversities, she transcends them, emerging stronger, more dignified, and truly indomitable. For us women in a world that often pressures us to display external perfection and consumes us with anxiety about the future, the Stoic journey is a liberating balm. It shows us that the greatest inheritance we can leave for ourselves and for future generations is not material possessions or social success, but a character forged in resilience, reason, and dignity. When you embrace Stoicism, you become the guardian of your own peace, a source of calm and purpose that radiates to everyone around you, acting as a lighthouse on foggy days. The Stoic practice of distinguishing what is within our control from what is not is your unbreakable anchor in moments of despair. Losses, injustices, pressures, these events are beyond your control. But the way you choose to respond, the attitude you maintain, the dignity with which you live your tragedies, that is entirely yours. By focusing on what is intrinsically yours, you become invulnerable to what is not. For the modern woman, this means not being crushed by job loss, disappointment in a relationship, or unfair criticism. It means directing your energy toward your own integrity, your virtue, and your inner peace, which no one can steal. This active acceptance of fate, combined with the courage to face circumstances, is an act of profound feminine autonomy. In a society that often tries to control us through guilt or fear, Stoicism gives you the key to your own prison. You free yourself from the need for a perfect world to find your peace. Your peace resides within you, an unshakable oasis, even amidst the greatest droughts or storms. Stoic spirituality here manifests in unshakable trust in your own capacity to transcend suffering and in the universal order that governs life's cycles. It's the faith that, just as autumn and winter are followed by spring, adversity can be followed by growth and renewal. You don't control the harshness of the seasons, but you cultivate your inner roots and trust that light will return. This mindset allows a woman to see adversity not as a punishment, but as an opportunity to develop an inner strength that makes her a beacon of serenity for herself and, by extension, for the world. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher-emperor, reminds us in his meditations, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Stoic women like those we've already explored, Arria, Portia, Fania, Marcia, Helvia, Paulina, and many others, embodied this truth. The pain of loss, repression, injustice was real, but their deep distress was a judgment they learned to control. They didn't let themselves be defined by what happened to them, but by how they chose to respond with unshakable dignity and purpose. They proved that the greatest strength lies in your response, and that this is the key to a truly free life. The woman who becomes truly stoic doesn't seek adversity, but she doesn't fear it. She doesn't hide from her vulnerabilities, but she knows them and transforms them into a gateway to her resilience. She doesn't allow the world to label her as fragile or defeated. She defines herself by her courage, her self-mastery, and her unshakable dignity. Her life becomes a testament that being stoic is not about being hard. It's about being indestructible inside. She becomes the very definition of strength, serenity, and authenticity. She becomes not just strong, but indomitable, a living inspiration. So, the next time you feel at your limit, when losses or repression try to bring you down, remember the Stoic lessons. Remember that your strength isn't the absence of pain, but the ability to master it. Take a deep breath, connect with your inner citadel, and activate the wisdom, courage, and temperance that reside within you, woman. You have the power to forge your own unbreakability. If this message resonated with you, if it made you feel a latent strength and gave you a glimpse of your own capacity for overcoming, then I invite you to take the next step on this journey of self-discovery and empowerment. Like this video, because your like is a sign that you are choosing wisdom and resilience. Share it with that woman you admire, the one you know needs to remember her own unshakable strength. She needs to know that being stoic is not about being hard, but indestructible inside. And of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our next encounters with Stoic wisdom, where we'll continue to unlock the secrets of a full, unshakable, and authentic life. Your journey to becoming a truly indomitable woman begins here.